Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain, mountain.
Fire, what you saying?
Red, what they are going to hold it fire.
Serious thing. We are here again, Baldhead and the Dread Podcast. We give thanks for everyone tuning in from those times till now. Fire, what reason about today?
Well, we are interesting topic, which we know say this is spark of debate, right? We're talking about black people and technology, right? Because I feel like there's this concept around technology when it comes to black people to notice of. It's almost like an anti-technology vibes versus, okay, let me just use it to some extent just because. So it's like them have a kind of love-hate relationship with technology. We really, really want to dive in at the fire because we feel like say it put down the people them and stop them from achieve certain things. Because number one, let's make a disclaimer. I'm not telling you that you should be a super fan of the direction that technology is going, because there's a whole bunch of unethical things going on with technology that is beyond my control, your control, and all of these things. But we're talking about the basic technology that our people should have that they don't have. And it's not just that they don't have it. A lot of them almost want to bash the basic concept of technology that is there to help them excel.
Technology definitely has been demonized, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of origins come from the church and biblical references in regards to technology being used for the return of the, let me get my Bible going. I know it's Revelation. It's not the man of sin. I don't know what it's called again. I forgot, but Revelation fire. I guess the devil's supposed to come back or something.
Yeah, the mark of the beast.
Mark of the beast,
yeah.
right? So that plays the fight. That's on people's psyche. So we got to acknowledge that, right? That like plays a big role because even if you didn't go in to church, it was in that conversation with this mark of the beast, right? So let's put that out there. You made the disclaimer. Fear for learning, fire. Fear for learning. I've experienced now. I will say it is difficult, especially for my people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, because a lot has changed since they were born. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot has changed. We talk about people used to write letters. Now you FaceTiming someone, right? But that intimidation they have to learn has played a big role in their lack of acceptance of technology. It becomes a problem because I'm noticing people, especially with, I'll talk about bills in basic life, right? And I want to be clear, just because you know the basics of a social media app doesn't mean you're, we're not talking about that. So that doesn't qualify you. I see this a lot of times, right? Banking, paying bills. You have some people fire. They will drive miles to go pay cash.
Pay that bill. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it could be paid, it's not funny. When it could be paid on the phone or paid on the computer.
Serious, man.
But the thing is now, they're so terrified of learning. I have experienced this personally, right? So I've seen it, and it's like they can't take whatever the process is of them not knowing or trying to learn something, or in their mind, the embarrassment of learning something or asking someone for help. So they'll stay in this bubble where they have to go through this longer process to get basic tasks done. I said the bills. Banking is a big thing. Many of our people don't have bank accounts. Now, I will say this, the bank has a history of, defrauding, doing illegal things, funds missing. Maybe that's in the psyche
those
also.
fees
And all that, right? But at the same time, especially for many places, for you to have basic credit, you need a bank account. You know, like this cash thing not working like it used to. I think a lot of people trying to do what their parents did with this cash with everything. They're like, it just doesn't work. I'm not saying you have to put things on your credit card, but you need a bank account so you can have some form of credit. It would make it easier. So many people go out there trying to rent a place or get a car, do these things, or talking about mortgage and all that. Yeah, your parents are probably able to make fake mortgage documents or pay cash. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I've learned to adapt. Like, I feel like we adapt, the fact that we adapt so much different behaviors from outside of our normal environment. We adapt so much different attributes and attitudes from different places. We need to adapt to things that actually benefit we as a people. And I feel like I feel like my biggest pet peeve is that, because the fact that And it's not just about not knowing, it's this comfortability in complaining. We get so comfortable in complaining. For instance, the same exact example where you mentioned with people driving so far I've got to pay bills, right?
Craziest thing ever.
All right, one. So we get up, go drive, go pay this bill. We're so comfortable with complaining about this all the time that we're not trying to solve it, right? Why are we complaining about things that we're not trying to solve, right? And then on top of that, while showing a lot of these people how to do this thing, it's like before you even show them, there's almost like this resentment to the technology as this is not for me. I'm not that technological
Hold
person.
on, far right. You see that term you said?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Yeah, this is not for me.
Foolishness, yo. That's just straight fear-based comment.
Yeah,
because like, you hear it from black people, white people. Like anything that you're scared of or is a confidence, it's not for you.
Yeah.
And you hear it with this technology, this not for me. Why isn't it for you?
Yeah, and it's like, and you will never get that. I feel like I've always asked why is it not for you, and I've never actually gotten an answer. And I think the answer is always wrong. This is the way this world they might be doing this or that. This conspiracy theorist type of behavior we carry out when it comes to technology. We don't understand. Say, all right, think about it this way. Let me use an example. If you send money to somebody through an app like Western Union or MoneyGram, and you you send the money to them and it's a cash pickup, you send them that reference number or whatever number so them can identify themselves when them go to this place. Them join a long line, pick up this money. As opposed to them having a Visa debit card or something of
any
that
type of debit card.
Any type of debit card or something that you can send the money through. They go to a machine, no wait time. They can simply draw that money, go about their business, even if that institution is closed outside of the 9 to 5. You are still getting that money through that institution. That institution is still benefiting from that transaction. So what is the difference? The only difference in the situation is that you are doing this thing manual as opposed to making this process a bit more automated for the ease of your access. So that's why it never made no sense to me.
Oh, to give context for people listening, we're talking about sending money to people in Jamaica.
Yeah, like remittance. Yeah.
The thing is fear, because they're unaware of it, right? Maybe they heard some bad experiences, and because they're unaware of it, they have all these preconceived ideas about this thing instead of experiencing it for themselves. So they said, unless me going into unfamiliar territory and doing something I don't know about, I'll just sit here, even though there's an easier way to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an issue, because it's just like, all right, I will say there are a lot of resources, especially I'm talking about for older people now from a different generation. There are a lot of resources for them to get up to date on basic technology in regards to Word, Excel, emails. Emails is a big problem. What I notice is, I'm not sure if you experienced this with emails, people don't understand they can send an email from every device. They think they can only log in on that particular device. Like, have you experienced that one?
Very much.
All right. So they actually get frustrated too. This is wild. If they can't log in on that computer, in their mind, they can't send you an email, right? And if you try to explain to them, they don't want to hear it. Another thing, Farah, which I think is extremely detrimental, and this is from younger generation to older generation, is the inability to use attachment on the email.
All right.
Scan a document. I have to sign a document, right? How am I going to sign the document when it's on the computer, right? Well, you have Acrobat PDF where you can print it, sign it, and scan it. That creates a problem in your life now.
Full anxiety about that.
Not only the anxiety, but things that need to get done, especially if it's in a timely manner, like you have to send a document this evening, or you can't get it done because you don't know basic technology.
See.
So I think this is the problem. I'm not asking somebody to be no great techie. I'm not asking somebody to make no apps. I'm talking about basic use of technological things that's everyday life that's needed right now. Mostly anything that you're signing, at some point, you're going to have to know how to scan a document and email a document. And you will be shocked. You'll have children who their screen time for TikTok or Instagram is almost 10 hours.
10 hours or more.
They don't know how to send an attachment from a PC, a laptop, or their phone.
Mm-hmm. And I think that is why it bother me so much. Cause if you can tell, there's something where really, really, really bother me, because I feel like the basic level of technology we're supposed to have bother me. Or we don't have it bother me. Especially the main thing you outlined it earlier, right? With the elderly people, I can see with that.
It's a lot. It's scary. I would say it's scary. Different world.
Me can see with them because, as we say, them new to it and all of these different things. Ali, me can't see with them 100%.
Yeah.
And there's reason for that. But when it comes to the younger people, them now, especially who so active on social media. So remember, every minute, if we overstand social media platforms with all of these algorithm shifts and all of these changes, it's a device, it's a platform that changes on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So wherever you went yesterday to find things, probably tomorrow you might go, or if you have to update it and you go in there again. Might not, new features.
Buttons,
They know all of these new features, the threads, all of these different things that come out. So how can you adapt to these things? And you can adapt to the things that are supposed to be used to help your life. Like, for instance, then the concept of that, the fact that you always have your phone. Do you know that a phone is a mini computer?
Yeah.
Are we even talking about scanning documents? The whole concept of scanning documents, and you have application. The same Facebook, the same TikTok, the same Instagram. All of these are applications, just as how a lot of different scanning tools, scanning platforms are applications. Why can't we go into these download these applications the same way and upload it? You can sign this document right here. You take a picture of it and it shows you a square box. Once this paper is within the square box, it automatically captures it. You see me, I say you have a banking app, you have your check, you never forgotten a long line. Once that check is within that rectangular box, it automatically captures it, uploads the check. These different things where it sounds so out of context and it sounds like you need to be an extreme technologist. If you know these things are right in front of our fingertips. Why don't we know this? Why, when we are always on the same computer, the same technological device? It's because we have an actual resentment for this technology and we don't actually know why we have a resentment for it.
Fire, I'm going to say two things and one of them you're going to laugh at. The first thing I want to say is that, you know how people could use Google for everything else?
All right.
They seem not to use Google for basic questions in regards to how to use basic technology. Because they can Google a lot. They can go to a deep research file, like a research paper on gossip, mix-up, and other foolishness. But where it comes to using basic technological tasks, they don't have that same
Especially
research
YouTube
skills.
too.
YouTube also. And YouTube is visual more than just the reading. So they'll literally walk you through. I want to jump back to that disdain of technology. I worked with old Caribbean men for about 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I myself had disdain for technology, being indoctrinated. I'm gonna keep it real. Being indoctrinated around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, I don't know why. I think it's just the fear, or they think they're holding on to something, or they're foundational, this and that. But it was kind of detrimental. I was pushed to learn for survival. I needed tasks I had to do, so I had to like get with the times, you know. But I was around that mantra, and like they don't. I know people that's still on email. I'm not email. They still on mail.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not mailing them information, they're not getting it. And they have a smartphone too, but they refuse to do an email for whatever reason. You get what I'm saying? And like things are more difficult. And I noticed too, man, one of them, I can speak, you don't know who it is, so I can tell you, but they had an issue with their Social Security and they had an issue with their healthcare because documents weren't reaching when they were supposed to reach. Because even though I noticed with these companies, man, like for some stuff, I'll say like a check. Yes, you can mail it in, but like a lot of these documents, man, it seems like when you mail it in, they get lost in the sauce. Yeah. It seems like they process more efficient when you email them compared to the mail. So I don't know if they're not getting them. I don't know if they even have a department to process it. I don't know what's going on. But in my experience, I'm not sure if anyone else could attest to this, but when it comes to delivering documentation, it just seems like the email is better. You know,
but in facts though, the world has already evolved. Like we can. You see, my thing is that whenever as a people we're stuck on something, and we're stuck with this complaining thing again. It come back to this complaining. The world already evolved to a technological era in a way where every single thing is technologically based. You know, you see me I say, and we can't move like say for the benefit of our own self. or our own family. We can't say we don't want to adapt to that because you see, if we don't adapt to that in our certain levels, my name, all right, could I consider myself a technologist based on the things that I know from a technological standpoint. But outside of that, I'm not a person who is always going to be pro-technology, but I understand the reality of the need and the usage of technology, what technology can do for benefit we, and especially with I&I. We reason about it half year, but we can reason about it now too. Especially with I&I, I say, what you see? See me as a Rastafari, Adrian. See? That is where I feel like a lot of Rastafari ones fall short. You see, we fall short on these things because we don't understand it. Life is a thing where, you see, if we really want to form a revolution or we want to take a stance about it, anybody who will create this form of technology or set the pattern for the way how we live within this particular matrix, we have to have that knowledge of what them have or even more.
Our history gonna repeat it. All right, listen. History gonna repeat itself. Listen, it's a book called Guns, Germs, and Steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Specifically with the steel part was the technology of guns. And if we study history, those who have guns were in charge. Now, you may strike up a deal to get access to those guns, but you don't have the technology to create the guns. Therefore, you're dependent on that nation group,
the manufacturer,
for the guns. Now, if you and this person not in alliance, you're in problems. We're in the same boat. The reason I bring it up, I will say this. Christian church has a lot of issues going on, Fire, right? And I'm not no Christian supporter, but I will say that they've done a great job of moving with the times of technology. I see a lot of these pastors streaming online, even up to their graphics and fonts. Fire is up to date and with the times. You get what I'm saying? Lighting, the sound, everything. I'm not trying to get at Rastafari. I'm not trying to, single out Rastafari, but I'm using them as an example, is that I've been amongst the Rastafari and a lot of them burn technology, and it's been a great detriment to the movement because even presenting yourself to the public for a message is not palatable to the eye because it's so outdated. You get what I'm saying? Things have to look a certain way for a level of credibility even to get people to listen. And that's what a lot of, not just Rastafari, but a lot of Pan-African movements, we have failed with being up to date with technology because you can meet at a room with 30 people and talk, or you can reach 30,000 people online or 100,000 people online. What's more important and what benefits the movement? How much minds are you trying to reach?
When I'm on a big summer say this. Oh, man, I got burn technology. And you still use a phone for make a call.
And then on WhatsApp 24/7.
You know, WhatsApp, you use WhatsApp for send a message.
Foolishness
for send a voice
all day
note. So what is the phone? Isn't the phone technology? You see the thing where people keep on
no consistency, yo. It's just foolishness, man.
Get this thing twisted, you know. Artificial intelligence is not something that is just coming around. You know. The evolution of artificial intelligence is just being exposed, you know. Yeah. What we think all of these concepts of robots and all of these concepts come from? The phone itself, the device, the phone itself, you know, is a robotic device.
Right.
It's a robotic device that is created by roboticists. If you think about it, and then all of these apps and things that are placed within this, and the fact that we use Android or we use iOS system, all of these are systems that need to be upgraded. Yeah. And if these systems are not upgraded using the same software developments and this artificial intelligence, then we will have no lines or no means of communication unless a man want to tell me, say, I'm going to send some telegram and all of these things to really conquer the system. So how can you burn technology? I just don't get it, Fire. Like, how can we burn technology and oppose technology to such an extreme when our main method of communication is through technology? Because if you are waiting on someone right here and you can't see that person, come, but you have an appointment in an hour. What is the first thought will come to your mind? Pick up a phone and call them where you are. And if you can't do that, then guess what? You're already inconvenienced. So the fact that we're already inconvenienced to so many things that we're inconvenienced to, the basic, that's what we use to communicate. How are we going to say that we don't want? It's almost like a man with in a corporation, and because he's on the lower end of the corporation as a little regular worker, him complain about everybody who in the higher realms of higher echelons of the company.
Yeah.
And as one of him friend get a promotion, him feel like him friend sell out or switch and leave him. But it's not a sell out or a switch. You still work for the same entity. Who cut your check?
But all right, so check this example. One, I think it's a rebel without a cause thing with this
Very much.
technology because, as you said, I know some far right that's on WhatsApp heavy, but
Mhm.
with other aspects of technology they don't work with, right? I wanted to bring something. You remember the firebrand times when Anthony B. Sizzlon used to burn technology?
Yeah.
Talk about bathing and screaming and all that. They had to evolve. This is recorded music. This is not just a speech.
Yeah.
This is a recorded music. But they saw how their understanding that technology was flawed and how it can be used in a healthy way. You don't have to go way out there. You know what I'm saying? And they evolved.
Mm-hmm.
There's a group of people that don't want to evolve, right?
I'm scared.
And I just think that's the vibe in a sense. And the scary thing too now is that you mentioned it earlier. I'm not sure if people heard you clearly. You see that difference of technological mastery or information? That has been the greatest burden to those who have been conquered. And I go back to the gun. The gun is a form of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, I don't care what bow and arrow you have. I don't care what guerrilla warfare you have. There's but so much you can do to a man with a gun now, right?
Yep.
And we are moving into the same territory
Mm-hmm.
where we don't understand the technology. We don't know how to utilize basic technology. And it's going to be hard for us to survive. A lot of people, like, you're missing out on opportunities because you don't know how to do an email attachment in a certain amount of time.
Yep.
If I tell a person right now, you need to scan these 3 documents, right? Sign them and send it to me by 3 p.m. if it's 1 p.m. I'm not getting it
Mm-hmm.
because they don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm. We need
That's a
shift.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Right? We talking about basic tasks to take care of daily stuff that needs to be taken care of that we can't accomplish because we don't know basic how to use things basically. Google Docs.
Yep. There for our advancement. So speaking of that too, I recently is a whole can tell you this is a pet peeve of mine, right? The same Google Docs thing and Google uploading things to Google Drive. I've recently bring some couple of people up to speed with this whole concept because it's not about teaching them. It's the concept of resentment of this even cloud storage and things. So where people are saying, okay, but if going in the cloud, where is it going to be? I'm not saying that you're not supposed to ask questions of technology. Yeah. You question anything you want to question. I question even the concept of God. So anybody can tell me anything. Whether I believe in it, whether I am for anything, whether I'm against anything, I question anything I want to question. You have the right to question anything you want to question. But what I am saying is, you have to think about the logics of how these things will benefit our life. I'm not even want to tell people, say, oh, you need to know Excel or basic thing. All right. I think you should know it because you might need these documents along the way. But we're not even going to go so far because what you might do in Excel, I can use a calculator if you're going to do the basic and you're not really advanced in Excel. You can use a calculator on your phone for do that. Yeah. See? But my point is, Fire, why are we holding back ourselves? Why are we holding back ourselves when we can actually be advanced into our certain levels now? Because the world is not, black people in particular, is not short of doctors or lawyers and all of these quote unquote great careers, Black people are short on engineers. And that is where the problem is as a people. Any black nation you want to think of across the world, it is short of engineers. Yeah. Think about it. And the engineers are the ones who design and shape the face of every single society and every single nation that black people control are short of engineers. Why? We're short of engineers because we don't grasp the concept of how deep technology is and how we need. We're not short of builders and thinkers and all of these different things, and we're not short of talent, Yeah. It's just transferring these talents towards a technology based way that we can actually get these engineers to start implement different things that can lead towards our advancement. And without that, we're going to be nobody at all.